Hey guys, I'm back with another video. Today we'll be doing what if Naruto was a genius, and this was a what if that I was planning to do years ago because I was inspired by Dr. Caillou. Was it Dr. Caillou? Yeah, Dr. Caillou, to make this what if, because I his one was pretty cool in my eyes anyways. Well, today we're doing what if Naruto was a genius. So let's get into the what if. And you'll see the changes that I'll be making in the what if, so I don't need to say it out loud. And if you couldn't guess, Naruto's here is gonna be like Minato's, but it's not gonna be Minato's here, but it's gonna be like it. Doesn't matter, right? We start this what if at a girl with black hair, with black eyes, with a black shirt with the Uchiha symbol on the shirt. She she is looking at a man with it's Fugaku, Sasuke's father, and it's Sasuke's sister. I'm gonna call her Izumi. I'm gonna call her Izumi just for the plain and simple fact that Izumi. So there's two Izumis. There's the adult Izumi, and then there's the Sasuke sister Izumi. So like Izumi, no Izuna. I'm gonna call her Uzuna, because Izuna is a unisexual name. So Izuna, she is Uzuna. Then we cut to a person in a house. She's wearing a black shirt also, but she has a Uzumaki swirl. She has red hair put into a ponytail. She has glasses, and she has a black skirt. Her door opened. She wasn't expecting anyone to come. In fact, the only person that would probably come there would be the Hokage. But that was odd. A person with a Kumo headband and a Kumo tuning jacket entered her house. Then we skip to a girl with blackish purplish hair, with lavender eyes, wearing a white shirt with a black skirt. We see someone enter her bedroom too, with a Kumo headband and a Kumo choni jacket. Then we skip back to the Uchiha girl, Izuna. She had just left from getting kicked out of her clan, kicked out of her clan by her own father, and a Kumonin kidnapped her. We see three people running out of the village with the unconscious girls. Then we see a red blur. Then we see a kunai. Then we see the Kumonin going in the forest, on to the borders of the hidden leaf, or in the borders of the land of fire, going to there. Naruto. We see a red blur slice one of them. He picks up the other girl and places her on the floor, then jumps right back up to the trees. But the two Kumonin didn't notice one of them go down. Then another got slashed. This time the other one noticed it. He said, "They sent recovery squads already?" Then Naruto picked up the other girl, which was the red-haired one. By now they were awake, and they saw the person that was saving them, but they hadn't seen their face yet. Then the other tuning went around to look at Naruto. But when he saw a kid, he was shocked. He said, "Huh, a kid came?" The village might be getting too weak, but Naruto blurred out of sight. And next thing you know, a kunai was in the backs of the man's head. Naruto grabbed the other girl. Now, guys, I'll be showing you the girls. So yeah, sorry. One was Karin Uzumaki. The other was Hinata Hyuga. And the other one was Izuna Uchiha. Alright, sorry for showing you unnecessary pictures, but anyways. So Naruto. So wait. Okay, yeah. So Naruto. So then they see a boy with whiskers jump in front of them. He had red hair with blue eyes. He was wearing a long black sleeve shirt with a white shirt over the long sleeve shirt with the Uzumaki symbol on the back of the shirt. And he also had black pants with black shinobi shoes. This was a kid their age. He said hi in a monotone voice. His eyes were blue and beautiful, but inside of them looked like he didn't really care. But he had a genuine smile on his face. It all said it them. Not like they didn't like it, but it was hard to tell what he was thinking or what he was trying to do. But they still said hi. He picked them up and asked them what happened, and they all explained. Well, they were surprised to see. Hinata said that she got kicked out of her clan by her father, and she was sleeping in her room because it was gonna be the last day she was there. Karin said that they just kidnapped me out of the house. I just got here a few days ago. And Izuna said, well, my father kicked out the clan too. Naruto then told him to follow him. He grabbed their hands and Naruto rushed off to the Hokage's office. He then told Hokage what happened and the Hokage understood and told them they were gonna get an apartment close to Naruto's. Because it seems that they already met him, it's gonna be best to make sure they stay close to him. Naruto had no problem with this and he went back to his house. Naruto's house was not like it was in canon, which I never understood why the Hokage gave him such a poor house. I gave Sasuke a good one. But anyways, oh yeah, and Naruto is older than Sasuke, so there's portraits of him and Kushina and Minato, but there's not much of them. Meh. There's some of them because he was born earlier. So yeah, so Naruto's actually kind of older than them, but it's kind of like a few months older than them. But Hinata is different because she's born in December, so he's way older than her. But I think Hinata is the youngest out of them because Hinata is born in December. Izuna had the same birthday as Sasuke, and Karin, I think hers was July or something. I don't know. Anyways, so Karin, so Karin, so I was explaining Naruto's house. It had a medium-sized living room, bathroom, and kitchen. But in his bedroom, when you walked into his bedroom, there was frames of glass. So like, you know where those you could from your bedroom there was glass. There's glass windows all around your bedroom. Yeah, Naruto has that. There was a TV on the side with a cupboard and a desktop and a desk. There was then an envelope of money that Naruto saw. Naruto said, "I'm gonna have neighbors or no. This is a house. This is a rented house. I wanna have neighbors, but anyways." Naruto flipped up and landed on his bed. His eyes glowed a bright yellow color. Did he have to use these, the Uzugan? And his eyes turned into two Tomoe Uzugans. It was like the Sharingan, but it was golden and had two Tomoes in it. It was pretty basic. And Naruto was a genius. Time to go and spy on the Hyuga tomorrow. Learn their techniques. Learn how to do them. I can see chakra lines, but I can't see chakra points. Chakra lines are basically the pathways to chakra, but the points are where you can shut them off. But if I learn how to use a technique to slice the chakra lines, it will stop the chakra flow completely. So you could barely stay awake. The only thing they could ever do was they couldn't even talk. All they could ever do is really see. Not even in facial emotions. I probably have an idea for that. I've always been smart, so what's gonna change this thing? Naruto then went to sleep. Now, Karin, Izuna, and Hinata was in a condo. It was a condo that looked like Sasuke's. On the entrance of the door, it had a little board, a straight board that had the Uzumaki symbol, the Uchiha symbol, and the Hyuga symbol. They all moved in. The Hokage got to move stuff from their houses to bring in. So the stuff that was in the Hyuga clan that Hinata had was brought into the new house without he actually noticing. Same thing with Izuna without her noticing. His his and Hinata and Connie got her stuff moved in from her old apartment that she only had for 2 days, but was no problem. So people got comforted into their furniture. It's gonna be a bad video. People got comforted into their furniture and just chilled. They all were thinking about the same person, Naruto Uzumaki. He was odd. He saved them without even caring. He could have just seen us and left us alone and not give a flying fuck about anything, but he did. He not knew this person. Well, they met before. She already had a crush on this same boy before, mainly because he saved her not too long ago. Probably about 3 to 4 days before that event. Now, this is where Naruto plays a word in this. Now we try to escape to the day. You see Naruto walking and an Ambu lands in front of Naruto, telling him that he has to go to the Hokage's office. Naruto goes to the Hokage office and he sees the Raikage, the third Raikage. He goes in there and the third Hokage said, "You, brat, it's time for your head. You killed my ninja and my ambassador." Naruto, stop you right there. If you want to play the internet card, don't do it around me. And make sure your people don't talk their plans before they do it. The third Hokage asked what Naruto meant. Naruto took out a slip of paper with the kanji of record on it. Naruto placed it on the table and then pressed him and pressed some chocolate into it. The a voice started to come from the paper. Rikage told us to capture these girls so we can get the bloodlines for the cloud. It would be so easy. No one can stop us. We're the cloud. Cloud have gotten weak. I bet I could take on the fourth Hokage. Kona has gotten so weak. Probably he gotten weak too. And the third Hokage, oh, don't get me started. He's the old man. We used to call him the professor and the god of shinobi, but that's what he's not anymore. Oh well. Let's get started. And the recording stopped. Now everyone was looking at the Raikage. The Raikage told Hiruzen to bring the person that killed his men so he could kill himself. Unknowingly, Hiruzen didn't want to do this, but he had to keep peace. And Naruto would have not cared. If anything, he would have liked to get out of this freaking world, but he couldn't. Every time he tried to kill himself, it just wouldn't work. The Kyuubi would always stop him. Naruto, Raikage started to sweat. He was caught in red-handed. He wanted to play the innocent card, mainly because that I could just take away one of their top ninja know because he took them out. But he was afraid. The third Hokage looked at him. You know what's gonna happen, right? He put down his head and he said, yeah. I want all the belongings of those ninjas, of those ninja and their corpse. I want all the stuff that they made, the money they made, transferred to the Hokage and to Naruto. The third Raikage said yes, and he went off to do such. And Hiruzen sent the Anbu just so he didn't try anything. He thanked Naruto and rubbed Naruto's head. Naruto got a slight blush on his face and told him, "Stop treating me like a kid." But then Hiruzen rebutted and said, "You're 5 years old." Yeah, I am. And Naruto gave up. He let Hiruzen pat him on his head and he just left it at that. Naruto then left the Hokage's office. Naruto was training in the field. His shirt was hanging down from his pants, so you could see the muscle that he has grown over the years. His red hair was limp on his face. His blue eyes was emanating. You could see it was glowing. He said, "I wonder how large my chakra is." Naruto then tried to do the thing that Hiruzen did. Flex his chakra. He then charged up his chakra and released it. When he did so, a purple aura came around Naruto. Then the purple chakra went into a necklace that was on Naruto's neck. It always had this Uzumaki swirl in it. He never understood it. Then the swirl started to break, and out came a bunch of scrolls. Three scrolls. 3 large scrolls. Naruto opened the scrolls. One had a kanji for Uzumaki savings, or no, the kanji for money, and under it had Uzumaki savings. Other had Uzumaki jutsu and sealing jutsu, and Senju sealing jutsu and jutsu. It also had the kanji for Naruto and belongings of Minato and Kushina. And Naruto took all the 3 scrolls and body flickered back to his house. Naruto at this point has a 3 Tomoe Uzugan. If you have not watched any of my past series that have introduced the Uzugan works not like the Sharingan. Uh, the Uzugan evolves on its own when it feels its owner is ready to achieve another ability, or has the body to achieve another ability. The Uzugan is special to Naruto, but the Uzumaki clan still does have a jutsu. It's called the Mind's Eye of Kagura. Mind's Eye of Kagura is an ability where you can see the chakra lines of everybody else. So they can do what Naruto can, but Naruto can dodge, can anticipate, cast genjutsu with his eyes. Stuff the Sharingan can do, but the Uzugan is basically like a. I know the Mind's Eye Kagura has 360 vision and can see for miles. Naruto can see from here to the end of the village. So yeah, at this point, from here to the end of the village. So Naruto's in a 360, a perfect 360, but you can lesser what he wants it to be. So he doesn't whenever he activates, he doesn't go straight to seeing the whole village. He can lessen his visual prowess. He's been working on a technique for now, but he doesn't know if it'll completely work. He then unravels the scroll. When he got back to his house, he unraveled the scroll. The one kanji for mother and father, he opened that. There was a seal, and one seal was notes, and the seal was notes and letters for Naruto. The other was furniture and other stuff, and map to house. Naruto opened the one for notes and his letters from his mother and father. The first one read, "Dear Naruto, I'm your father. My name is Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage of Konoha no Sato. I know you could never forgive me for placing the QB inside of you. I know that you might never forgive me. You might hate the village, you might hate me, you might hate everyone. But I just want you to know, Naruto, I will always love you. I'll always support you in whatever you're trying to do. I will always love you. My Naru." Naruto didn't know what that meant, the Naru part. He guessed it was a nickname that his father gave him before he died. He then opened the one for mother. At that point, he forgave Minato. Minato was his father, and he knew he couldn't hold the grudge forever. So, it didn't really matter. And Naruto already knew about the Kyuubi. Actually, they were even good friends. When Naruto was being chased by a mob one day, the Kyuubi helped him, and they started to talk. And Naruto just realized the Kyuubi was misunderstood. And from then, the Kyuubi helped him into training, taught him the body flicker, taught him basic ninjutsu, like the substitution, the shitsu in our body flicker, the normal clone jutsu, basic stuff. Naruto looked at the scroll. And then he went to his mother for kanji. Now, from here, remember what Kushina said before she died? That was what in the letter. Because I can't recall all that she said. So it was in the letter. She told Naruto that she would always love him, no matter what. Even if he went down a dark path, she would always love him, no matter what, and support him in whatever he did. And if he went down a dark path, he would have a reason for it, because he was their son. He wouldn't just go AWOL for no reason. Naruto was surprised. His parents loved him so much, even the Hokage. He was okay if he went down a dark path, although if he had a reason for it. They loved him that much. Naruto was surprised, and he was thankful that he had such good parents. He then unsealed the notes, and it was all the notes had either the Senju sign on the cover of the book or the Uzumaki sign on the cover of the book. He then went to the furniture and saw kanji for map, and he took out the map and he saw the Uzumaki Senju, the Uzumaki compound. Naruto left everything there, and he found a jutsu that he was gonna learn on the way. He could pick up very things fast with his Uzukan and could copy the hand signs easily. Could understand the hand signs easily. His had the ability to analyze anything it saw to its minute detail. So when Naruto looked at the scroll, his Uzukan instantly activated, and it completely understood what the scroll was saying completely. So Naruto went. Naruto go to the Uzumaki compound, and it was in ruins. Well, it was some houses had huge claw marks, and it was probably made by the Kyuubi, or Kurama, as Naruto knows him. And it also did have faint senses of the Kyuubi's chakra. When Naruto got there, he saw a wall. There was multiple walls like this one. It had an Uzumaki swirl on it, and on each corner of the wall, it had a demon mask or a demon face. But it had a gate. The gate was not locked. But he could see clearly that the chakra was near this gate, a barrier. Naruto said, probably only worked for Uzumaki. Let's see. He walked in, and instantly, it did nothing. He saw there was many trap seals if someone that was not Uzumaki came into the compound. Naruto went in and looked. He saw the main head building, which was probably his mother's and his father's building. He went in, and everything was in an okay state, but it still had some scratch marks there, some burn marks there, and everything everywhere. But surprising to him, nothing was there. He then thought of it. His father had the flying machine. He probably re-teleported everything back here and put it in those 3 scrolls. His father was a genius after all. Naruto was a complete genius, no matter what he was. But anyways, Naruto then tried to use the jutsu that he saw before. Would release, attaching vine jutsu, and the vine spread out the ground and picked up the broken rubble and fixed the patches and all the rocks that were misplaced, but it still had cracks where the rocks was pulled. Naruto went to each and every one and said, "Earth release, ceiling crack, and then the cracks sealed up with stone, really. So the compound looked, it was brand new. All it needed was a little more dust up, and it was completely fine. Naruto went back to the Uzumaki compound, and his house, and took out a pen and started to write down things that he needed to do. But then in the corner of eye, with the scroll still open, he saw Uzumaki locations. Naruto ran to this because it was weird. He said Uzumaki locations. He then took out the map that was there. It had red dots and everything, and the red dots were moving. This was tracking all the Uzumakis that were alive at this point. Naruto ran to the Hokage. This was something important. This was the Uzumaki clan still living. Now, when Naruto reached the Hokage, he gave Hokage the paper and explained what he thought it was. Hokage said it made sense. Minato and Kushina always wanted the Uzumaki clan to come back, but they never really could. He then summoned a team of Anbu, Captain captained by Kakashi Hatake, to retrieve all of these Uzumakis and bring them back to the Uzumaki, to the Hidden Leaf, where they rightfully belonged. The Wambu then left back home. Naruto sit back in his house and just chilled. Then the doorbell rang, and Naruto went to the door and opened it. On his door, it only had one Uzumaki symbol. Naruto looked on the paper again and realized, because there were two of them, realized that an Uzumaki was close here, but was weird. But anyway, she was gonna go to check that out later. He saw Hinata, Karin, and Izuna in the front at his door. They all were blushing and kind of looking at their feet. They then had Naruto a basket full of cookies. Naruto asked them what was this for, and they said it was for saving them and helping them out when no one would. Naruto then said, "You're welcome," and invited him into his house. His house was really clean. There was nothing out of order. Naruto was technically a germaphobe. He didn't like it. So everything was clean. Even the scrolls were put up properly. There was on the table put up, so it wasn't really messy. They all sat down and Naruto brought tea for everyone, and they started to talk, and they actually built a very close bond. They all went back to their house that was actually right next door to Naruto's, but hey. Naruto then put on his jacket, which you can see on the screen, and ran to the area where he found the signature. When he found the signature, he found a girl with long red hair. She was wearing a black skirt, a black shinobi skirt. If you don't know what black shinobi skirt is, black shinobi skirt is when it has a slit, so it's more maneuverable, is more tactical when it has a split. And she had a flute attached onto her waist. One strand of her red hair was covering her, was in the middle of her face. She was Tayuya Uzumaki. Naruto jumped in front of her and asked her if she was an Uzumaki, which he knew she was. She asked Uzo what. Naruto told her red hair, like his. Then she looked at Naruto's red hair, his blue eyes, and his handsome figure. She blushed instantly, but she kept her composure. Oi, just suck off. Naruto told her. Taiyo told Naruto. Naruto told her, that's not a way how the lady speak, but I don't really give a fuck, so it's not my problem. Oh, you have a sassy mouth, do you? Taiyo said. She licked her lips at that. She looked at Naruto. Naruto looked at her. Naruto honestly was not the type to give a fuck, but she was amusing to him. Anyways. She told him that she was running away from a man called Oshimaru. She gave her this black mark on her neck. She was sick for days. Naruto then told her to come to the Hokage's office with him, and she said she reluctantly came with Naruto. She then met the Hokage, and the Hokage assigned her to where Karin, Hinata, and the rest were living, which they had an extra room, so it didn't really matter. All of them met Karin, and Naruto escorted her to their house, but he went back to his house. That was just right next door. Naruto started to work he went out in training ground Uzumaki, which was a Uzumaki training ground. Naruto went there and saw it was also in ruins too. Naruto said, "What's that? Great divine attachment jutsu." And the rocks that created a stadium that was shaped in the way of a whirlpool came together, and then he landed on top of the podium and then said, Earthlies, sealing crack jutsu. And the cracks that were in the arena was sealed up. So it wasn't an arena where the wall with walls. It was just arena that was shit like Uzumaki. I had a little bit of fencing on it, not much. It was like a ring, so but it was like a boxing ring, but it was way bigger. So yeah, Naruto then pulled out a kunai with a 3-pronged kunai, and he started to read a book. Then he pulled out a book for all basic 5 chakra natures and his new technique that he was writing down on the scroll. He started with his new technique. This was the chakra scalpel, but he wanted his chakra scalpel to flow and not just cut. He wants it to spread and cut. So he would cut multiple areas by one touch. It was much like the gentle fist, which Naruto oftenly spied on Hyuga to learn. Using his Uragan, he was able to analyze the Hyuga gentle fist easily. He was a master at it, and he made it into his own taijutsu style, Uzumaki fist, crashing waves. There was all the way to 300 crashing waves. Because when Naruto struck, it was like a crashing wave. When the chakra came off of Naruto's hand, it was like something was pushing back water. That's what came with crashing waves. Anyways, Naruto went into a stance similar to Hyuga's stance, but it wasn't exactly that. Naruto also could, other than seeing on the chakra lens and expanding them, he could also hit the chakra points. I noticed that him, Hinata, Kari, Izuna, and Tayuya was spying on Naruto. When Naruto suddenly said yes, which was not often came to Naruto. When you thought of Naruto, you thought of dull, boring, and very cool and handsome person. But excited sometimes was not one of them. But this was on one of the many rare occasions where Naruto was actually excited about something, which was he finally finished. Now we go back over to Naruto. Naruto was wearing a skin-tight vest with bandages on his hand. So Naruto was wearing a skin-tight black vest that showed his muscles, with bandages all the way down on his knuckles, all the way down to his wrist. And off and on, wearing a black pants with on the end of the pants had the Uzumaki swirl. On the back of the skin tight vest had the Uzumaki swirl also. But what took the surprise was Naruto's hands. Naruto's hands was oozing a green aura. And when Naruto went to a tree and hit the tree snapped in half. But obviously Naruto was putting a lot of chakra into this, but he could lessen down the attack first. Naruto was so excited. He then went to his other one, his flying Raijin. He said, seal. He put his, so he connected his chakra. So he opened his Uzugan and looked at the seal that his father made. Naruto grabbed the seal, and when he grabbed the seal, the whole world went black and gray. But what stood out was the yellow lines appearing everywhere. And then there was a core where all these lines met up. It wasn't too far from here. Naruto's body flickered there. The girls soon followed, and he was on the top of the Hokage's mountain on his father's head. There was a kunai. It wasn't seeable by human eye, but you could still see it if you looked very hard. He touched the kunai He touched the kunai and funneled his chakra into the kunai. Then purple rings wrapped around the yellow rings, and the one of the kanji changed for hope. For one of the kanji changed to endurance, not hope, and that became Naruto's flying Raijin kunai. So Naruto could contact with any of Minato's kunai. So the tag that is on Obito can had changed, that the tag that was on Kakashi changed. So Naruto knew where every flying Regime mark was now. He knew where every single one of them was. Naruto went back to his training ground and untouched and released it, and the kanji changed right in front of his eyes. Naruto then threw the kunai and he teleported. He threw the kunai and teleported outside of the kunai. He teleported to the kunai in a purple flash. But Naruto was soon ran out of chakra. He said he needed to work on chakra control to get that done, but he then started to look at all 5 basic chakra natures that he got done easily. Then Naruto went back home. A few days after that, the Uzumakis that the Anbu and Kakashi had gathered was at the Uzumaki compound. Naruto was standing there. All of them was looking at him. They all then remembered one person, Kushina Uzumaki. He had her facial features. No, he had Minato's facial features. He had Kushina's ear and Kushina's eye shape. Enough for them to realize it. Kushina had met them all not too long before. She told him about the Uzumaki clan compound, but she wanted to get everything ready. But also suddenly, she never talked to them again. They thought that she abandoned them and they went along with their lives. But when they saw the Anbu came for them, they got a glimpse of hope. All the Uzumakis everywhere was treated really bad. For some reason, they just stood out, and people thought that it was weird. So the Uzumakis, then when they looked at the Hokage's mountain, they were surprised to see their clan symbol on the Hokage's mountain, showing their respect for them. All of them thought they should have gone there a long time ago. On the Hokage's mountain, under the Hokage's faces, it had the Uchiha clan symbol, the Uzumaki clan symbol, and the Senju clan symbol. Then they all went to the Uzumaki compound, and that's where we are now. And we see Naruto standing in front of them. Naruto then unsealed a pack of seals. He then told each and every one to line up so they can go into the compound and it's already furnished and everything is already there. So people have luggage and stuff in their hands, so they have clothes and stuff. Naruto opened the briefcase and told them wherever they want this tattoo to be put on, and the tattoo had a kanji for non-seeing eyes. This kanji was so the Uzumaki clan's secrets or techniques can never be actually seen by any Sharingan users or anybody else that could copy Jutsu or Kekkei Genkai. Naruto actually didn't know that if there was any person that could copy Kekkei Genkai, but better safe than sorry. They all lined up, and some got put on their left arm or their right arm. Some got it put on their necks, and some got it put on their foreheads. They all was happy with the outcome, though. Everyone settled into their houses and just relaxed. This was the first time they ever felt like that. Any Uzumaki, no matter where they were, that's the only time they feel relaxed and everything settled in. But unlike people thought, Naruto did not stay in Uzumaki compound for too long. He entered his house and left back and just went back to his old house. When Naruto got there, he told Karin and Tayuya about the Uzumaki clan and how they are there. They instantly got up and ran to the Uzumaki compound to see everyone walking around. Unlike they thought, Naruto had already So a few days after, people went to the library to see if Naruto put any jutsu in there. But they were supposed to see when they got in there was a flood of books with jutsu and clan secrets. And when they went further in, they saw a section for clan jutsu. They all went into that section and they thought it was something that they necessarily had to use. And they saw a clan taijutsu style, which was the crashing wave style Naruto had made not too long ago. They all started to learn that style, and the Uzumaki clan was rebrought to the Konoha village in their bringing back their military power, bringing up their military power. The whole village was happy to see that Uzumaki village clan had come back to the leaf. Naruto was just training, but on the way, Naruto and the rest has not been in the academy yet. So Naruto met up with Izuna, Hinata, Karin, and Tayuya. They stayed in their house. Karin and Tayuya stayed in the house because they were really attached to Hinata and Izuna, so they decided to stay where they were before. And we know that just because you're orphan, if you were orphan, you actually have to stay in the compound, because we know Obito didn't stay in the Uchiha compound too much. He went there. He went there before, but he knew that he didn't like stay there. But anyways, so everyone went there and they asked Naruto to go with them into town. Naruto also had something to do, so he did not mind. He was going to make a house, a jutsu that he had figured out to make 4-pillar house jutsu. So he would give it to a Uchiraku stand member with a land that he owned, that his father owned, that the council thought they could steal, but they didn't have the contract for it, so they can't take it. So yeah, Naruto has the contract for it. So like yeah. So they went out, but Naruto had a black shirt with a black pant with the kanji for longevity on the chest, on the left chest of the shirt, and he had on a black pants on each side of the pants had red stripes, and then he had on a black shinobi shoes. They were wearing some. Hinata was wearing a white shirt with flowers on it, with a white skirt. Izuna was wearing a black dress, a black skirt with a black shirt, with a black Uchiha shirt. Tayuya was wearing the same thing that I had told you about. Wait, no, did I explain her clothes? Tayuya had a crop top, a black crop top with, yeah, this. I already told you the skirt, but anyways, Doll was there, and Kari and Tayuya had something else. She had an Uzumaki swirl on her crop top. It was like size shirt, but size crop top, but meh. So they all were walking to the village, and they went to Uchiwaku Ramen. Naruto ate 14 bowls of ramen with ease. Hinata ate 20 bowls of ramen with minimal effort. Karin ate 14 bowls, and Tayuya ate about 14 bowls too. And Izuna ate about 5 bowls of ramen. Unlike those monsters in her eyes when they eat food. Anyways, they then left, and Naruto went to make the 4-pillar house. They basically went on a date, but it didn't go on a date, but it did go on a date. Naruto went to his property. It was a small. He had a lot of property, but this was a very small one. He then said, "Ichiraku Ramen 4-pillar restaurant house." Damn, jutsu, and a three-story restaurant with the with a Uchiraku sign big and bold came, and Naruto made 14 shadow clones and told him to get some paint to paint the Uchiraku stand white and red, and paint the Uzumaki, paint the Uchiraku ramen sign. They then did so, and they gave him, they carved the key and gave it to Naruto. And Naruto went to to Ichiraku. No, he went to Tayuchi, and he told him to cover his eyes and wait for a minute. Tayuchi said yes and took Naruto's hand, and they walked to the ramen stand. He has his eyes closed. No, Tayuchi always has his freaking eyes closed though. The fuck do you mean? But he couldn't see, okay? And he looked at. They then stopped and the restaurant that was in front of him. It had the sign for Ichiraku Ramen, a three-story house fitted with glass, furniture, and the rest. He was so the Ichiraku Ramen guy was so happy, and yeah. But this is gonna be a two-part because I have to go. I have to get ready to go somewhere. So this is gonna be a two-part because I didn't get it finished. I'll finish it when I get back home. So it's the other one. It says this is not gonna be posted until then. So, so see you guys. I might bring it together. I might not. It depends.